Alright, what's up, yins guys? I'm doing another video, and I'm just redoing this because I decided I went off the subject in a too long video. I made the video too fucking long, and I decided, you know what, I do that shit sometimes, so I'm gonna make this as clear and as possible and as short of the video as possible. I can give a rat's ass about some stupid comment, but every once in a while there's a commenter worthy of making fun of, you know what I mean? And I also have a policy too, which I made a video about, is the idea of giving a rat's ass about certain people's opinions and their cheap shots and their cowardly statements, like the one that you just see there that I put on there. My motto there is too, and I got a video just for it, is we got to determine, you know, when can we decide to, when do you decide if a rat's ass should even be offered or given? When should the ass of the rat be offered, let alone even given? You know, and that is about this commenter here too. Presuming, you know, I don't want to waste all time on a video saying how I don't suck up to either side. I think either diehard Republican is too far off the one side for everybody's rich friends first, and Democrats are way too far to one side to a point where I believe in the poor, but people are doing shit that's dishonest too. You can be way too far off this way, too far this way, and a little bit of both. I believe in, if it's this or that. So this person thinks that. He says, "Oh yeah, fuck off, you long-haired hippie weirdo." That's all he had to say. Don't make no argument about a video I said about that county controller. I said, I made the fucking video because people did way more. Others out there, you know, you can look it up. And I regarded this thing with the county controller as petty. You know what I mean? Why should they lose their whole fucking career over this thing? It's petty. I mean, come on, they could come to something. But in the future, I would still tell them, if they get out of this, live their life so they cannot be accused, and don't drink. That would just, if you want to twist my arm, tell them that just don't even drink. But I mean, somebody being a dick, okay, it started because somebody's being a dick, and they couldn't fucking check to see if, to validate that they're in a computer or something, and that they're staying there. Oh, even say if you were drinking a little bit. Oh, don't fucking forget your card, even if say you weren't drinking. And then yeah, if you and me were in that situation too, be fucking, especially if you see this on the news, be careful, because I think I even said in the video, no matter who or what you are, whether you're outside of a town or a jurisdiction or outside of the country, people don't give a fuck who you are. You don't do nothing really to nobody, but you can unwittingly break a taboo somewhere there, and you one person behind a desk being a dick. And they, even in workplace, they hope you will handle it this way, and some people will do shit, and they're hoping that you fly off the handle or do something. You know, you get that every day. People do that on purpose too. But what's wrong with something I said in the fucking video? But you get somebody, but anyway, this video is how to not make an argument. If you say, you want to say, oh, you disagree because of this or whatever, and fine. But then you go, oh, fuck off, you long-haired hippie weirdo, you. When you say shit like that, it's like, oh, I'm going to say, oh, by what authority? By what authority and by what moral platform do you say these things? And I'll make a list. Is it by a theory of a god or religion, a moral platform? Explain to me who you are and who, or else who you think you are, or by what authority you think you say something. And I usually, my thing is I'll say that in comment or even verbally on the list. I'll say, oh, is it by a religion, a god, a communist daddy, or, well, in this case, the guy has Donald Trump videos on this, so he probably thinks I'm a communist. I don't give a fuck about Antifa. I think Antifa are a bunch of fucking idiots, you know what I mean, too, and they're trying to stir up the pot, and there's Antifa are the poster people of how not to do things. But anyway, yeah. So this guy's assuming that. But if anybody outside of somebody like this guy that's assuming that some kind of diehard Democrat punk or something, like I says, I have my things with extreme, Republican and extreme Democrat. There's things that that could be done better. But yeah, but people other than this person I'll have on the list. Okay, by what authority? If it's not a communist daddy, it's not a religion. What moral platform? Or is it a living person who you regard as authority? Is it by their authority? By whose authority? What? Because I get different kinds of people that'll say shit. And if you can't make a valid argument, you're just a fucking coward, a fucking troll. And I would be a bit surprised if they're a bot, because you can have bots that, an algorithm. Fuck off. And they're probably going to other people's videos about something. Any video that's talking about this one, they can be a bot, and when it's a bot, fuck off, you hippie, fuck off, you this, fuck off, you that. And an algorithm, maybe they see a ponytail, fuck off, you hippie, so what, And the only thing I don't have any respect for, or I have to give, no rat's ass has to be offered, and no rat's ass has to be given. You understand what I'm saying? About somebody that can't make a mature argument, make a bigoted statement out of presumption. This long-haired hippie weirdo works for charity on his spare time, because the kind of work I do, seasonal construction, on call, get enough of assignments, got to watch the money. And you can pay your bills, you just got to watch the money a little bit, don't squander it. Unlike the line of work I did proudly years ago when I had one of the better paying jobs that are harder to get. We had profit sharing bonuses, and which I advocate too. I'm very proud of myself. I walked around and buying nice stereos and all kind of shit, and eating in a restaurant all the time, walking around with money in my pocket. Oh, who give this hippie weirdo a good paying job? I'm eating a restaurant every day. Different people of age groups are staring at me. Oh, he's probably a drug dealer, like looking. And then you got the people that accuse you of a stereotype of being on drugs and different that. And then you got the other side mad at you because you don't buy none of their drugs. So, I was under scrutiny both ways. But in my 20s, for my hair wasn't as bald and I'm getting gray and bald now, getting CD changers, stereos, speakers, bigger speakers. And now I look at that, I'm like, years later, it's like it's old junk now. Paying good money, and I was pissing off my critics and my haters, getting nice stereos and these CD changers, 400 disc CD changers, and in there, walking around with money pocket, eating out in the restaurant, because when you don't drink and smoke, even if you were on minimum wage at the time, your money is it's like you have more money if you don't have no habits, especially if your rent starts going up. And I didn't pay car insurance because there was people, restaurant nearby, always parking over there. People didn't stay. They left when the lease is up because they bitched they come home from work and no place to park. Restaurant parking lot gets full, right? And then it's like, then even along here. So I either walked to work or took the bus, and the kind of hippie that I am, I didn't give a fuck. I avoided having driver's license and all that too. I have identification. So instead of other people's statuses driving around living on credit, driving their fancy cars or trucks, I was being hippie rich without the drugs. I know this is extra subject matter for you, but if you got to, in case any haters are looking at this, and if any other people look like me too to do this, if you smoke a joint now and then and drink now and then, I would rather you not. Because, and even with the marijuana getting legalized everywhere, I'm one of them people, before you judge, that when you have no habits and don't even get a car if you can help it, unless your job warrants it. You're making a good amount of money where that car is needed, and you're making more than you're spending. And I was one of them people that, when I started on minimum wage when I was younger, before I landed that job, I don't want to tell my life story that I was telling you about. People I worked next to with that good money, that they're living on credit, they're in more seniority, make a little more money than me. I argued that their living on credit was stupid, that they're spending beyond their means, and I wasn't going buying no houses. I was interested in running off, making a bunch of babies, and I sure as hell wasn't gonna be on the other side, regular drug users and drinkers making a bunch of kids or whatever too. Didn't want to be on that side, but I had haters on both sides. But anyway, yeah, I was that here. Yeah, this is for you. I was that guy that walked around with a smirk and money in his pocket. Didn't have no habits, walking around with a smart ass smirk and whipping money out to buy stereos. Which that's another case for you guys too. That I want to tell you guys. I'm laughing at all that shit now because like I'm older now. And now it's almost like all that fancy stereos, all that shit and that. Now you don't fucking need that shit. That's old junk now. When you paid good money for that, it's old junk now. Now your fucking smartphone or iPad, you can fucking watch TV on it. You can have your whole fucking music collection on it. Unlike having a bunch of CD changers, that was like back then, like having a Cadillac and brand new, leather, walking in a restaurant. I didn't have no time for no partying or any kind of other drug use or drug parties people accuse you of, because when you work a certain bunch of hours and work, easier to go across the street and eat or whatever, and you take your shower, your fucking day is shot. So maybe that might have prevented me, that's the kind of life I advocate, too. So I made people on both sides mad. But fast forward now, things a little different. Try to go to college, and what I do is work these jobs on assignments. Some of it's construction. Some assignments are more than others, and you just got to watch the money and don't squander it. Keep some aside, and pay in case things go slow and you don't pay the next month's rent. And since you in a winter things can slow down, you got to watch the money. You got extra time, you can make time and go out there in the cold, work for charity. You know what I mean? So that you're especially kind of charities where you're seen out in public and you're making friends. So to get rid of the stigmas about long-haired hippie weirdos, and the polite smile, you're making friends, and any of your haters walking by, the polite smile is also damn sure you see it's a smirk to them, and it's like a this to them, because I think it's a wise choice. You know what I mean? Especially with some people, doing stupid shit like burning churches down now, you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, the guy who's listening to black metal now, this is a different subject, but anybody that's called a long-haired hippie weirdo, you listen to a little bit of metal, might choose my metal differently. But I think it is very important to stand up and say, watch those little stigmas and stereotypes they're creating, and say, you don't want nothing to do with that shit. You don't tell people, excuse me, you don't believe in that shit. Got this little cold. I was fighting, cold medicine kind of worked, and you want to hawk up a hawker there, but I think that's enough. You get the idea. It's a little bit much, but I figure in case any of you guys that know me, I'll add a little, what do you want to call it, useful information. Any of you guys that come and watch my videos, I'm trying to give you some insight on how to be. And I enjoy the fuck out of actually living a life and not being accused and disproven haters of this character that makes these comments, because you got those out in the world. That's the point of this video. So I take an opportunity in a video like this to actually mock not just the person that made this comment, but people that think shit like that. You know what I mean? And even if you get stopped on the streets by the police one time, they don't find anything or whatever, then you should be okay. But there you go. They didn't find anything, and if it's your haters are behind it, you know what I mean too. But yeah, I want to give a valuable lesson too. You watch yourself too that way. Don't give anybody any excuse. You know what I mean? But yeah, the best way to disprove your haters is to do well, or if you have something for the community you believe in, even though even though you're an arrogant person and swear at your haters and swear too much, fucking do it. Yes, if even if you're a rebel, I think you should fucking find something in a community you believe in. In my case, my girlfriend got me into it. I won't give you all the details, and I did it every year ever since. And it's not just to fuck over my haters. I actually do care. I see things, you know what I mean? And if you want to ask me some questions, do that later. But and anybody that has a problem or a question, you know what I mean? Go for it.